Right then, we are ready for game number 1 of ESL One Genting. Day number 2 here in 2018. Of course, 1 year on from DC winning last year, and only one member can do a repeat, and he's about to play his first game at ESL One Genting in this particular round for Evil Genius. He's the only man that can do the repeat. Can they get through a lower bracket, which is absolutely stacked, even before they begin this first match against Penta? We're back with Nahaz and Fog to break down the draft for game number 1. Gents, what are we expecting?
Well, I don't know about expecting, but what I want is Penta to, I think I kind of said this yesterday too, but I feel like I say this a lot when I feel like a team is weaker than another team, is draft more team fight. That's also when I've seen Penta have more success personally, when they do have at least 1 or 2 big team fight heroes. Have
they got anything in here?
What is
have you studied their drafts, Alan? Have you had a look, and is there anything that stands out to you?
No, I'm actually thinking about. I was differing from Fogged in that I was going to say Penta should focus more on their lanes, just try to win the laning phase and blow EG off the map. I'm trying to think about because you still have to be able to convert after that big laning phase, and EG have gotten better at turtling up in the recent games.
My big things is have a game ender.
Yeah.
Like these Terror Blades, these Lycans, someone who can just push, eat these bases, something like that, and team fight. I think that's the biggest thing for me, because I think if it cuts to a point where the game goes super long, I don't think Penta has that equal as EG, that experience or anything. Just like you said, just based off history in the last 6 months, that alone, EG has much more across even further periods.
They get in EG's face early on and try and wear them down.
Get in EG's faces early, then have some nice mid-game team fights that's easier to execute. Not have these like really hard things to play off. Like I'm looking at some of like the recent ones, and some of these drafts I see like these are pretty tough to win. The ones that they've lost recently, because they have to have like very perfect games and lanes have to go well, and then they don't have team fight.
Very technical kind of drafts that they've gone for. They're not straightforward initiators, for instance.
But when you go back, I think it's the lanes and the concept of being able to really capitalize on that lead and end the game. If you go back to some of the lineups of theirs that I really liked, I believe they had a couple of games where they threw Oliver mid on his Terrorblade, and they shifted over their mid player to play the Weaver in the safe lane. And you had 2 heroes that if one of them lived through a 1 fight, they were almost going to be guaranteed to be able to take an objective, either Tower or Roche. And then when you had like a stable team fighter like a Brewmaster that they played around that, those were the lineups that they looked really convincing.
Yeah, I want Tide or Brew off lane. I want Terrorblade or Lycan for Oliver. Like those are like actually 4 of the ones I think they might need. One of each.
I just think they have to be super careful, because I see a lot of their recent drafts where they're committing to like a tinier PL in the first phase, and they're getting heavily counterpicked.
Yes.
Like there was one of these drafts that they committed to a lifesteal in the first phase, which was disastrous. And I want them to not be out of the draft after the first 3 picks, because that's what I've in this recent hard streak that they've had. That's what I've seen a lot of.
And that's what we're saying, right? The draft is. I'm very concerned with Penta with the draft.
Yeah, but they have been very meta with the drafts that they've had more recently. They've not gone crazy wild like a Wraith King or something. They've not gone off the deep end like Envy would. Some of the picks they're picking, yeah, sure, they're a bit different, but they're not massively different.
But that's what we're saying. They're meta in their picks. But a team can be meta by borrowing elements that they've seen for other teams that don't necessarily work for what they've been doing.
Yeah.
And that's I think what both of us are concerned about.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the one thing that stood out to me when I was looking through most played stuff.
Yeah.
Oliver's most played right now.
Yeah.
Probably Chaos
Is
Knight.
ABBA.
Oliver's Oh yeah, he was doing the gradients every game.
Yeah, you're looking only at D in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
from the C stuff, so that's odd. But other than that, outside of that, it's pretty usual stuff. I mean, CK, as you mentioned, is Lifestealer.
He hates CK right now.
Lycan, Omni.
Why does he hate CK right now?
I don't know. I even see like the teams that know him really well, they're still banning it for him. But I was talking to him, and he's like, I think this hero is actually so bad right now.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. But that's quite good. I mean, we should keep that quiet. Because then people still ban it for him, whereas otherwise they'll stop banning it because they know he's not going to play anymore, I guess. But he was also a Deucer player as well. We haven't seen any. Yeah, I think that was one of the things that we were talking about pre-tournament. Was it nerfed hard enough in the sense of the items around it meant that it made it unplayable now, or was it still viable? We saw some at Galaxy Battles, but haven't seen any here so far on this on the main show. I don't know if you've seen any of the other games, but not a popular pick so far.
I still think that the fall off a little bit in Medusa has a lot more to do with the fact that Medusa rose to popularity because teams, the last couple of patches had sucked so many resources off the map by reducing the neutral spawns, reducing the bounties to early kills. Medusa became popular because she could farm Ancients efficiently. She could add some of those resources
I'm thinking
back
actually we
into
did
the
have
mix.
one game yesterday, didn't we?
We did the Silent Rampage.
We had
right.
one game where they left him alone.
And
That's what happens.
Instead of picking Medusa, teams have realized recently that we can play greedy by building Battle Fury on random melee heroes and farming Ancients that way.
Right.
And so Medusa has actually fallen off, in my opinion, due to competition from other heroes in the pool, not necessarily due to the direct nerfs to her.
Yeah, and maybe due to being figured out a little bit as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
I still think the heroes are really strong.
That's the thing. As long as as long as the scaling on level 4 Mana Shield is 2.5, I think Medusa's still pretty good.
Okay.
I think that hero's going to be pretty relevant for a while, especially with 4th picks.
We talked about Penta's picks. What about EG? Because this is critical for them right now. They're 4 and 5. I think. Crit's got a deep hero pool. Misery's got I don't know how many, but a lot that he can play pretty much anything. The critical thing here right now is Samael, isn't it? They've got to get him on something that he can play, that he feels comfortable on, that it's working for the team, and they haven't found one yet, have they?
Not crazy in particular, in my opinion.
I mean, what did he play in the other game?
He had a mag game.
He had a mag game, wasn't it? And it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't the best.
You know, it's funny. A lot of the discussion surrounds Samael, and understandably so. I'm still not completely convinced by Fear's mid.
Sure.
They've picked Death Prophet mid
so many times.
I think 8 out of their last 9 drafts, and they've picked Death Prophet in the first phase. 6 of their last 7 drafts, which is really odd to me. It's generally going to be Fear mid, then Arteezy gets thrown into the safe lane. I feel like it makes their draft very predictable.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that, because behind that, he's got a PL, a Morph, Tiny, an LD, a Lycan, Lifestealer. So he's played all of those, but he's all played them once.
I think the thing is, though, I think
play once.
I think I saw people were talking about as well, like the Death Prophet, like Fear Death Prophet, but I don't think they're just picking it. It's like, oh, we just love. They might love the Death Prophet, but I think a lot of these games too, he's versus Tiny. People know that it's like one of the best versus Tiny, or the other ones that he played versus like a Tide Hunter and stuff like that. So it did make sense why they would want it in those games. Maybe they were just like, oh, it might get banned out because of how good it actually is.
But he definitely seems to love the hero.
But the logic though in moving Samael to the offlane position was we want to put Arteezy back in that mid. We want him to be, we want him to be our playmaker. And these Death Prophet drafts, most of them really haven't felt like they've put Arteezy in the position to be a huge playmaker, with the exception of a couple great Terrorblade games.
Do you know, you're mentioning yesterday, when you see Universe in a Fnatic top, you're just jarred slightly. It just seems a bit odd. I'm the same with Misery and an EG. It's just
but he used to wear it.
I know, but so I should in theory I should be totally. But it just, I don't know. It'd be like seeing Fogged in a Man United top.
Okay, Terrorblade.
I'll take that,
all right,
dude.
so
Jesus,
first mile marker in the draft is Terrorblade being taken off the table immediately by Penta. They're going to ban a hero that both of these teams, another hero that both of these teams have picked first phase. Frequently, that's the Tusk. And of course, EG. We talked about the CK ban.
Brew.
They're going to take Oliver's CK and the staple Brewmaster.
Someone needs to get in there right now and tell them he doesn't like it.
I think the team likes it. The team still likes it.
Or
maybe
maybe he does, and he fed you that, so that you'd say it publicly, so that anyone would stop banning it. So then he starts picking it. See, double mind games.
Maybe.
All right,
Whoa.
Sand King. Yeah, for Penna.
Okay, well, they're getting some team fight right off the bat.
Most picked DNZ.
I like this. I think they're going back. This to me is going back a couple weeks ago to when they were winning a bit more, where it was much more common for them to lock down both Armin and DMZ's heroes in the first two.
And DMZ's most played all time.
Okay, and it's EG that will commit
so
to
they're gonna flip things up, and that will be a Fear PL. You would imagine
it could still
be, but
change.
Has mostly been.
But
Arteezy's also played it a lot as well, so could flip it. Does become a bit flexy, which gives these boys a little something to think about.
You almost have to expect Penta to pick a Tiny here.
Yeah,
ooh, that's actually a disgusting open.
Yeah, that's pretty strong. Good ways to stall the game out.
Hold up.
I don't know. ET just feels like he gives absurd tempo control.
I mean, that's a really good opening, isn't it, from Evil Genius? I mean, it's not as good as the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class sedan. The most intelligent E-Class family of all time welcomes a powerful new member to the dynasty.
That was pretty good. So again, though, Penta go back to this more recent formula of committing to one of their cores in the first phase, and Lifestealer. I just
whoa. I actually was like, oh, Tiny looks pretty good here, but they actually just don't play it. It seems.
Yeah. They don't play a lot of Life either, though. I mean, Oliver does play it, but it's not.
So Lifestealer is one of the better heroes versus Elder Titan, and now they actually have like the combo with the Sanking where they can do the Infest Bomb. But PL is incredibly good.
Yeah, PL kills
versus
them.
Lifestealer.
Yeah, and again, it's
bizarre.
They did this a couple weeks. They did this 2 weeks ago against Kingwin, committed to the first phase Lifestealer, and he just got mega counterpicked the rest of the draft.
They picked Lifestealer into Dusa in that game.
Yeah.
That's what I did not understand. I remember watching that. I was like, wait, what? So, I mean, I guess they just really like the hero, but it is an awkward kind of placement versus a core-to-core matchup, we'll say, because we like to say that.
They generally look quite worried.
I mean, I just think...
They're already a bit like, that's
I guess
not
it's
what
a
we were
better
thinking.
counter pick in this situation than it was in that game, but I think Lifestealer is one of those cores. He's still super vulnerable to getting countered.
Yeah, you just get kited.
Yep.
These heroes are very speedy too. Elder Titan, you get like this movement speed at 10. Like you can actually gap away from that Lifesteal pretty easily. Same thing with PL, of course. So yeah, that one is curious to me because they just. I mean, but we did say we wanted them to go back to what they're comfort with a bit. So at least they're doing that.
All right, so but
not crazy about that Lifesteal though,
especially
in the first two like this. When you see the PL right off the bat,
I'm just hoping they'll pick when they're on. A big element of Penta's game is they have these stabilizing supports. I'm hoping to see them go back to like a Witch Doctor or a Rasta here with the third pick. Give RMN that comfort hero.
Yeah, I guess Shadow Shaman, right? Like, if they want to take that kind of approach, but that hero has been completely falling off lately. I don't think anybody's touched it. We've seen a couple.
It's still most picked of the subpatch, but I agree. Dazzle as a save here, I really like that. I think it opens the door to the Death Prophet 4th. I think it opens the door to even a Terrorblade 4th. Terrorblade's off the table. Okay. This is an interesting thing that they've been doing. They've run a lot of support Leshrac for RMN.
Yep.
He's only 2 and 5 with the hero, but still, it's a hero that if it lives through a team fight, it's almost always going to be able to take an objective afterward.
It can be it can do that if they want to choose it as support, which I think that they will. It's also very good actually versus PL. You clear those.
I mean, is it good anywhere other than support right now?
I don't think so.
It's not really, is it?
Actually, no. I did see Mid1 play it at DreamHack, and he played it. It was beast mode.
Really?
He went some Boots of Travel Yules, movement speed build with track. He was flying across the map. It was actually really interesting to see.
I never... DK is just absurd to me, though.
It was a very niche pick. It was very just situational.
Very situational.
I think I just think a lot of teams played around with it, and it's a hero that needs a lot to get going early on, and it's super susceptible to getting killed in lane.
They're so squishy.
This one we expect this to be a 5 though.
We expect. I would guess a 5 position line.
So I was going to actually ask you if you felt like the OD might go to EG because it's been favoured quite heavily by Arteezy recently as well.
I never thought there would be a time in my life when I would be talking about Dragon Knight as a flex pick. But like seriously,
it actually is now.
It
actually is now.
Yeah,
when you get to this point in the draft, you actually don't know whether this mid is going to be whether this DK is going to be mid, potentially off lane in a duel or tri lane scenario with this lineup, or even safe lane. We've seen the DK run safe lane already in this tournament.
What I see by Penta is they have some Astral Sanking Leshrac stun combos to like take out this mid. So I think they're really focusing. Yeah, they're really focusing on team fight, taking out that mid lane. You wanted lane dominance. That's pretty good. Of course, DK does do quite well versus OD now, but with the pressure of if you get Astral, then these guys rotate in. It'll be pretty intense. So what was that? That's of course a Nyx ban and a Tide ban by EG. I would think Tide would have fit pretty well into Penta's, so I do like that ban by EG.
And I do feel like, don't you feel like Penta dodged a little bit of a bullet in the second phase? Because other than the sort of questionableness of picking the Lifestealer into the PL in the first place, I don't feel like the Lifestealer got mega countered.
Dazzle is pretty good versus Lifestealer, though. Weave is very, very strong.
Yeah, any minus armor is a problem.
Or plus
as much
armor,
as he benefits from from minus armor himself, it's a problem against him.
So we're looking for what on Penta right now? What are we looking for here?
They need their offlaner.
Yeah.
So
they both need offlaners.
Tide. Let's pick Tide.
Banned.
No, it's banned.
They banned it.
That
Yeah.
was that was banned on the last one.
can't
Yeah.
see that
No,
very well.
I'm struggling to.
Legion, they played it a good amount of times, right?
They could go.
Yeah.
They're a Darkseer team too, and he does, as lackluster as the heroes looked in general, he does fit with the sort of wombo combo-ness.
And Boogie's top 3 played are all banned right now, which would leave him something like Avenge. Is Omni banned?
I was thinking something like Legion or Enigma, but... Oh yeah, wait. Omni is...
No, Omni's not banned.
Omni is
looking
is
pretty
sick.
nice for that OD, because then you don't have to worry so much about the PL.
Indeed.
I'm so on board with the Omni.
Yeah,
pick.
I think they've come to the same conclusion. Haven't they? Like, it's too
Paul
obvious.
just makes the assumption.
No. No, that's too obvious. No, surely they're not going to leave Omni, otherwise they must have a plan for it.
Okay. Oh,
Oh.
Kunkka.
Okay. All right.
And
well, this
is-
is the 2-4 swap, so that would
that's
be...
a Lesh...
Wait.
who's...
Yeah, how's
Is
that
that
going
Lesh
to
core?
play out now?
Core?
Who's the core? Is it Lesh core then? Or
No.
Sanking core then? And Lesh Kunkka supports?
I
But they like
This is a
Kunkka core.
I think they can switch.
They can. They've done it before.
All right.
And I was
think
going
this
to
could
bring the
be-
puck up for Sumail, yeah, because just
Offlane puck. Okay.
it's very greedy, isn't it?
Hard to kill. Silences are the
Yes.
dream versus OD. You always want to have at least like one kind of built-in silence in your team form.
This is. I love these games where you see all 10 heroes and you're still not 100% sure what
Yeah,
the laning
I have
motion's
no
gonna
idea
be.
where they go.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait until the game starts. Which
okay.
just makes your jobs very difficult when it comes to predicting anything at all. I'm going to give you a slightly different prediction game this time.
Okay.
Where do you think the Kunkka goes? Let's see if you get the prediction right.
Off lane.
Okay. Really? What? Okay. That's
I
weird.
like the Kunkka in a duel or aggro try.
I think it's going to be like a dual lane off.
yeah,
lane
aggro
Kunkka for
duel.
some
I like
reason.
that. But is he a core in that lane?
That you didn't say. I had to
You're
specify
gonna call
that.
it?
Specify that.
Come
All right,
on.
I'm going
I'll
to give
put
you
him core. I'll put him core because they love that hero.
all right.
They do like that
So he's
hero.
a
as well.
3.
God, what the hell am I trying to nationalize right now? I've seen a couple teams do it, but
Let's go with the more traditional predictions, guys. I do think EG wins this.
I think EG wins this.
You can't just change the questions as we go along. Like, the easiest question in the world was who's going to win this game. It wasn't who's going to play Kunkka and where's he going to go. That was the much harder question, obviously, for our analysts. Let's find out how we get on in game 1 as we head to our commentary team. Trent and Odie Pixel, it's all yours, boys.
Thank you very much, Red Iron. Here we have it, first series of the second day of ESL Genting, and it's a very interesting one to see. Evil Geniuses, of course, the team coming off the back of a decent LAN performance, coming second, of course, in Galaxy Battles. But overall, they've had a lot of matchups recently where, for the sort of caliber of players, they haven't quite been up to scratch. Now, against Penta, coming into this, you would sort of expect EG to be on another level, but I think there's going to be a lot of people asking questions and looking to see if can EG really keep the upper hand here, or can Penta for a bit of a spanner in the works?
And Penta, they're a team who have had their own changes very recently. They had Nine, who's obviously kind of one of the more well-known players on the team, I would say. A lot of people recognize him because he was top 1 in Europe for a while on the MMR leaderboard. So everyone's like, oh damn, this guy must be pretty good at this here Dota 2 game. But now they've got Arc, and they've been playing with him for quite a bit. It's not exactly like his first time with a team or anything like that, but always going to be tough when you're coming up against EG. And in fact, their game yesterday, they had to play Liquid first. So, bit of a rough land so far for them, I would say.
Yeah, just a tad. Yeah, we had a few quite nasty games for some teams yesterday. It was a rough opening day. Of course, these best of ones always with the potential to be rather brutal. But now we're in the best of 3s. Maybe this sort of situation is going to suit a team like Penta a little better. They've got the chance to have this first match. Say it doesn't go great, they can reevaluate and look to approach it game 2 in a different manner. But game 1, it might go great for them. They've got this lineup, as the panel was saying. They've got this excitement, the Kunkas, the Leshrax heroes that we don't see too frequently from a lot of the other top teams. What are you thinking about this lineup from Penta? Do you like this approach that they've taken against EG?
I've been surprised by their Leshrac in the past. When they were playing at Aces, I believe it was, in Germany, they brought out this Leshrac as well for Araman, and it just really helps with that siege. You know, he's no Rasta in the sense that you can't just drop the snakes and it's like super safe, but he definitely offers a little bit of push if you want to go for the Edict build, or sometimes you might just skip it all together, you know, throw out some lightning, get the stun going. They have a lot of basically like follow-up stuns to go along with Boogie on the Sand King, so pretty common hero for him. He's very comfortable with it. He'll be able to lead him with a Burrow Strike, and then you can have a Torrent to come after. You can have just the Leshrac stun splitting that Earth, easy peasy. And DNZ, he's a hell of a Earthshake to play that season. on his bigger ones. So he's not always ready for that perfect timing kind of hero.
Be able to secure himself the bounty ring.
A prize.
Early taunt's also very important
It
in
is,
this matchup,
especially
I would
when
say.
you're a Kunku. You know,
Yeah.
the taunt is a very, very powerful spell to be using.
Oh, hey, look, Arteez is in the off lane again. This
Okay.
is his new home. You know, he just lives here. It just feels safer. It's much harder. The angles to like try and pressure someone here, if you get the creep wave in any sort of decent position, the angles are just terrible. Like, how do you actually approach this guy? He's already super survivable because he's a Phantom Lancer, and he wants to put a little bit of pressure into this and dodge out, it looks like, with that Lifestealer matchup there from Oliver.
PENTA with this SK Kunku combo. So they do have potential themselves, I would say. Boogie does have to be careful taking a bit of a right click from the two of them as he runs past them. Up top, Iron Man. Some good harassment onto Fear already, being forced to pop the salve very early on in this matchup. As he's going to have to be very careful in these early few levels. Fear, he is on his own for the time being on this top lane, as EG pulling the majority of their resources now down towards bottom, with Misery also backing up RTZ as well as Crit on this bottom lane. So full focus on making sure that RTZ gets the start that he needs on this PL.
Yeah, they have definitely developed a real identity on EG over the past couple of weeks. Fear gets this Death Prophet, DK kind of hero who he just becomes like a kind of a blob. He's like this blob. He's just kind of there in the game. He's an annoying hero. He can always get stuff done, even if he doesn't have a lot of farm. They try and secure Sumail some sort of a good matchup, some sort of a 1v1, at least he can do okay. This game, not ideal. Puck versus the OD with some roaming supports, but he's getting it done. 8 and 5. He wanted these 1v1 matchups to be a little bit more common, whether it's the off lane or the mid lane. This was, I think, overall their goal, and then they're always enabling Arteezy with the support. So I like what they've been doing recently. I think it's been working out obviously quite well, other than that grand final.
Misery. The rotation on mid, just looking to keep Arc on his toes. DNZ will grab an Invis Rune from top. Still just level 1 on the Kunkka, but may be able to move into favourable position to catch one of the members of EG off guard with the Torrent. For now, still sticking around the mid behind Arc. CS-wise, we can see Sumail 12 for 8 against the 6 for 2 of Arc, doing a very, very good job in the farming on this mid lane, Sumail.
Yeah, not a very easy gank to go for. He'll have to try and hide in the fog to throw the Torrent or something if he wants to do anything, but overall just trying to snipe the courier is certainly his best option. However, he's not.
No movement.
It's just dancing away.
Bottom lane, the sleep onto Boogie. Getting the trade of harassment. RTZ, top of the CS, 15 for 5 on PL. Top lane, the go being made. They have got the stun onto Fear. He's relatively tanky, does have the backup of Misery. I don't know if it's going to be enough though. With 3 heroes surrounding him, he goes for the TP. They have the grave, but it doesn't matter. The X mark's there. They have control to hold him back. And despite Misery's best efforts, Fear will still fall as Oliver claims first blood for PENTA.
Just one player I never want to get first blood to. It's going to be Oliver. Any sort of a jump start this guy gets, he loves thinking about Radiance.
Oh,
it
hang
is
on.
every hero.
Look at this jump start. It's not just one, it's going to be 2. Double kill as Misery also gets caught out as he hangs around in that lane after Fear is dispatched. And that is quite the start for that lifestealer, as you say. Sure, the CS not quite... I mean, I say it's not quite the same as Arteezy. There's only a couple in it, but the fact that he's now got those 2 kills, that's going to be the potential for this lifestealer to have a pretty good game. There's not really the most amazing of vessels to take him around, but I guess it doesn't matter when sort of kills are being handed to you on a plate as such, as another death on this top lane. PENTA making it happen up here. 3 kills before the 4-minute mark. I mean, as I say, I was going to say, you know, lifestealer, he's sort of relying on the Sand King to get a blink before he can start making those sort of plays, but they're just handing the kills to him, and he's going to have phase boost in a second.
Yeah, they have a lot of different control elements. I mean, they have 4 other heroes that can kind of add something to what Lifestealer really wants to do. I mean, he's the slow himself, plenty of stuns, this X, it's just so irritating. And this is a Dragonite.
And this is the stun combo you talked about, having this amount of control. I don't know if they'll have quite enough damage. I mean, with the open wounds and the control, it's a slow kill. Can they quite do it again? He is tanky.
What a hero.
They've got another stun, it's going to miss. They needed that to connect, I believe. They're still trying for Fear, but now with Misery turning back up, they won't be able to bring down Fear again, but we're seeing how close it gets each and every time. It's a very scary lane for EG up on the top. But the other lanes are looking good for Evil Geniuses. You still have that mid matchup where Sumail has a significant lead, 25-14 against the 15 for 3. And bottom lane, RTZ's farm is not being slowed down at all.
No, it's good that they got that kill early on the Dragon Knight, just because obviously once you get up to level 3, level 4, if you get the 2 points in the Dragon Blood, he's temper soft. You know, he just insane HP regen. It feels like you can't cut through him with the early level heroes. And yeah, Boogie gonna survive once again down here as he builds up into his Tranquils, so might be a little bit more active around the map. In terms of what's going to start happening this game, we've got the level 6 on the Dragon Knight to look out for. Also just the Boggy's Boogie.
He's got a Sandstorm and a walk away, and doesn't even need to use it. Will be able to just get himself
That was a bit
out.
close.
That was a little close there. You've always got to respect the punch of the Elder Titan.
Damn, Sumail. Level 6 here.
This mid lane is looking to be just an outclass as it has. And you know we've seen Ark as well on the OD. He did have a bit of help earlier. The Kunkka was hanging around it, but it doesn't seem to matter at all. Sumail having a much easier lane hit.
Yeah, it looks like just maybe sapping up some of that experience from the OD2, kind of slowing him down a bit.
Yep.
And there's no real serious kill threat onto Sumail either, as long as he doesn't orb in too aggressive a fashion.
Up top though, this is the lane that's been a little messy for EG.
Grave in time?
DNC's going to go in, looking towards Misery. The stun will indeed come out during the Grave animation, so he can't quite get it through. That's going to be Misery down again. They'll look towards Fit. He is hard to go on now. 2 points in the Dragon Blood, 2 points to the Breathe Fire. Very unlikely the Penta have the damage for that attempt, but they're still getting these free kills on the Dazzle. It's going to help keep Oliver neck and neck with the farm of Arteezy. Arteezy, of course, mainly entirely getting it from the creeps at the moment. Still yet to be able to get a kill themselves, EG, but as it seems, I don't think it matters. They are getting the trades. They have their 2 lanes where they're doing more than fine, as we can see, with both Sumail and Artur.
Yeah, and his life is even easier now. He gets the Ring of Health as he starts building in towards his Battle Fury that all loved oh so much on every single melee hero.
Sleep Stomp onto Boogie. Last 2-man Burrow Strike. Yes, he will get himself away. And that's always going to be the interesting way that this game transpires, isn't it? If Arteezy, well, I say if he will, you know, when he has the Battle Fury, the farm game, it's going to be hard for Penta's heroes to keep up. You know, the OD and the Lifestealer, they're not flash farmers. They are heroes that are going to rely on getting kills and just dominating the enemy cores. So we'll see how Penta are able to play with that in mind. Bottom lane, Iron Man again getting caught up by the stomp. They actually get both of them here. They're moving it deep, but TPs are going to come through. EG have to be careful here. Now with the stun from Boogie, sorry, from the Lesh holding Arteezy in place. Nice set up for a kill here. DNC with the rotation. Artur going for the doppel. Can he find the right target? Doesn't look like DNC will be able to get the control with the torrent. Well, the X market is only just level 1, so not quite the range to catch the real PL there. So Artur will get away with going for that aggressive play, but still yet to quite get that kill on that bottom lane.
Yeah, and you look forward to 0 for Penta, but again, time and time, that first kill, the first blood, so much gold. Fantastic. Yeah. Every kill after that, though, just doesn't even feel like it's that much these days, as long as you're still getting those last hits and starting to outclass your opponent's 12 CS difference in the mid, and then another 9 in between the position 1s.
Yeah, I really think that the biggest issue in terms of both teams in this game is the fact that this OD is falling behind. That's going to be a problem. You know, you sort of ask questions, how much is Ark going to be able to have an impact when he's 2 levels behind Sumail's puck? He's not going to have those quick items that he wants to get.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of friends this game either, but okay. Right, man, that's stacking of stuns. They can chain you for a while from quite a distance.
Yeah, this is the sort of the lane dominating, hero killing potential.
He sees all those kills on cooldown though, and he's like, man, I want in. Like, I want to go back.
He's got to be careful here though, Artur. The NZ is going to have his spells back up. Misery in the neighborhood though will allow Artur to continue to stand his ground. Attempt for a blind torrent. Arteezy's already out of there, and Arteezy and Misery getting a bit of pressure onto this bottom tower, already down to half health. Put his eyes onto Boogie, shoving the lane right in underneath the tower. And looks like Penta actually going to back away with the 3 of them, not wanting to make an attempt onto Arteezy whilst he has Misery and Crit by his side. There should be a free tier 1 tower for Evil Geniuses. Nice and early as well, just before the 10-minute mark.
Need the Dragon Knight.
And it is going to be a very quick Battle Fury at this pace for Arteezy. There's no doubt about that. He's sitting on 1300 on top of the Ring of Health. That's before the tower goal. There's the last hit. There it is. More money into the bank. Arteezy well on the way to a very good time on Battle Fury.
Yeah, and you heard the panel mentioning that like Omni Knight was still left in as a final pick there for Penta, and you kind of think about heroes that maybe could have enabled the OD a little bit better in terms of like that mid game and stuff. For now, he's just pretty much kept relying on all these spells just constantly hitting, getting that big chain stun. Oh, Boogie. Yeah, he's no way of knowing that ward was... Oh, he's pinging.
He's pinged
he
it straight
knows.
up, yeah.
Maybe he has some vision back there
smart.
or something.
Yeah, I guess,
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Ah, he saw Misery come up and down.
Thanks, Pimp. There you go. So we get the diagram. So helpful.
That should be some free goal for him once he gets that D ward. So, I mean, if you're Penta, you do have this 5-0, but I think, you know, they surely must feel that the PL is not being contested at all. Are we going to expect to see them go for some aggressive play on him, or can they just look to try and shut down other elements of EG and deal with the PL later? It seems risky.
Yeah, the hardest part is going to be just Misery. I mean, if you watch Misery, he's just non-stop right behind the PL. You know, he has nothing else to do this game. He's like, I'm trying to get a couple levels onto my grave, so I'm helpful, and he'll even rotate in for this kill mid.
There we go. I've got the ESL Astral to buy some time defensively. Fear will get caught out by the Torrent. EG, 4 of them, but unable to go quite in for that. Arc with the quick Astral, buying time for his team to surround him and back him up to put EG off from diving near the tower.
But Arteezy, yeah, he's just showing bottom the whole time, always pushing. But there was a pretty heavy commitment from Fear. He ulted in the mid lane, he just like run the whole way top, so they wasted a lot of the Dragon Knight ulti. Still a win for Penta, but it doesn't feel that strong because of how much Arteezy's still just getting.
I mean, I'm not an expert on sort of the PL Battle Fury timings, as it is a relatively new thing and not been able to cast too many games, but this seems like it's got to be one of the quicker ones. This is going to be...
Tread's Battle Fury probably around 13 or so, yeah, 12, 13.
This is solid timing from Arteezy. Unless he dies now, he's still not quite got it. He could end up going on a dying spree, but I'm sure it won't happen. He seems to be very, very safe, as you mentioned, with the way that Misery and Crit have consistently been protecting these area of the maps that he's been looking to farm in.
And you look at the other like 5 cores in this game aside from Boogie, and Boogie is like 1400 behind the next highest core in the game. So that Blink Dagger is very far away, which is probably gonna be their main initiation on the kill. It takes them like look at him, Fear's just standing there.
Hey, I mean he's a DK. Yeah, he's out. They don't have quite enough damage between those two. Well, not quite enough. They don't have nearly enough damage. They did about what 40% of his life there.
So it feels like in terms of those fights heading to that mid game, maybe the best hope for them is that Fear is still that big meat sack, and you're able to get a lot of int off him as the OD. Maybe drop like a big hammer or something, and that might be able to like try and turn you the fights. And there is a lot of that control elements around him. Like if people try and go in the OD, they might just get X, they might get torrented, the boat can come flying through. They're gonna have a little bit of rum to help them out during those engagements. So there is still hope for Penta, but things definitely looking good for EG.
See, to try and make a bit of a go on this, but in DJ catching out at least 3 of them. They're holding them back into the ultimate. Now EG, they're going to look to try and fight, but Fear, he's caught 2 near the tower. Grave comes out from Misery. Brief Fire will finish off the Kunkka. Can they get Fear back to safety? They've got the heal, but it doesn't matter. The Sanity's Eclipse drop down. Arc finds the kill onto Fear. 1 for 1 at the moment. EG still dancing around the side of it, but it looks like they will pull themselves away from that one. Oliver also getting space up top, so quick reactions from Penta, allowing them to take advantage of that attempt from EG and come out of the trader on top, bringing down that core DK.
And again, I mean, if you've ever seen Oliver play Dota, you've probably all realized he will build Radiance in every single hero. It's not too ridiculous on Lifesteal, of course, pretty common, very good against the PL.
He's going to get a good time as well.
He thinks it's just the best item ever.
Yeah, this is going to be a very quick Radiance timing for a Lifestealer, that's for sure. 13 minutes in, having the Relic goal. So they will get caught out by the sleep. Does Crit back up? He does have some mail nearby, but no Dream Coil. And Rage is back up, so Oliver more than safe. Up to the shop he goes. Relic picked up. So some 2 very big fast timings on these sort of key farming items for both cores. Arteezy has that Battle Fury, and Oliver just a recipe away from having the Radiance. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how well the Radiance Lifestealer can keep up with the Battle Fury PL.
Yeah, the mischance, of course, very nice in terms of like the team fights, but overall I would say probably the speed of farming is still going to be going Arteezy's way. As he can only just be harassed here. Misery level 5, 14 minutes, but that's because he's doing his job. He's just making sure Arteezy's never going to die.
Well, we'll see how well he can do it here, because Arteezy's in a bit of trouble. He already used the Doppelganger early, and come on, Trent, he went for the
bounty rune. He started running back. He was like, dude, I want level 6 so bad. He leaves for 2 seconds. That's the support life, man. You're like, guys, please, I just want this bounty rune.
That was a smart move from Penta there.
Yeah,
they saw that the Doppelganger had been used, and they were like, we've got this opportunity to go in.
There's a bit of vision down there, too, where they've been watching all these movements from Misery, and they see him create that gap for just a second.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we can actually kill this guy. So, great vision placed there from Penta. He deserved to die, honestly, after that. He was down there for a long time. This
He
guy's just
was.
like living in a radiant
I mean, he was
jungle.
getting away with a lot
Yeah.
down on that bottom lane, as we can see. I mean, him and Oliver pretty much even at the top net worth. Slight lead at the moment for the lifestealer with that little bit of a death going the way of Ro4.
And we see this a lot in these games now, too. People talking about like why Radiant's side seems to be more favored. If you look at how the game's been progressing over the past like 5-7 minutes or so, it's been split vertically rather than on that angle that the game kind of starts at. So Oliver gets to farm the whole top lane, which means that's giving more control over the Roshan pit and everything to the side of Penta, even though they're on Radiant. Oh, look at this great diagram by Pimp. He's so handy. Whereas the Dire side have been controlling that Radiant side jungle, so controlling that area not nearly as valuable as controlling the northern part of the map up by Roche. Arc just kind of chilling around mid. Oh, some more great vision there.
Yeah, I was going to say as well, considering how the CS was going at the start between Arc and Sumail, it definitely feels like he's recovering. He's only about 700 net worth gold behind, which isn't too much of a difference.
No.
Level-wise, less than one level in it, so he's definitely closing that gap. I mean, Sumail had a significant level.
You look at the kill score, right? They have 1 kill. And Puck, with a good start like that, you'd think that you would have a couple kills for Sumail already. He would have found some rotation, but there hasn't been a lot of aggression from Penta. They weren't really diving towers. They didn't create those opportunities for the TP with the Dream Coil or anything. And he went for the Veil first as well in Sumail, so he was kind of happy with that more passive style, I would say. He just wants to clear up some waves quicker, just nuke things down so they can't pressure into their tower. And even EG haven't made a movement with the DK yet. Fear, still no ults on a tower other than that attempt mid.
He's a little bit far out here. Sleep will catch him, and there's no way that the Slash is getting out of this one. Free kill for EG, as RMN will get punished for his positioning from Sumail. And interested to see if they can get something done now, of course, with the Sand King, because there is that Blink Dagger now up on Boogie.
Perfect timing, too, because EG are finally making an aggressive move up top. They kind of shoved Oliver out and said, all right, time for us to get out.
Look at this. He's already used the face shift. He does still have an orb. Sumail, can he get himself out? He cannot. The Torrent there is in time to follow up. And it's as we say, you know, Penta, they do have this lineup. You get caught out by one stun, you're not going to get yourself out of the combo.
Geez, Ironman's lucky they didn't turn on him right there. But yeah, they don't want that catch to come. Oh, yeah, we fight top and bottom.
Look how he's on his own. Arteezy is in trouble. Oliver's Radiant's burning down the illusions. They've got their eyes on the real PL. Oliver being able to get a kill onto Arteezy. This is absolutely massive for this lifestealer, as they are more than keeping on pace with EG. EG, they do still have a slight 1k lead, but it's 10-2 on Penta.
Yep.
And you can't help but feel that Penta, coming into this matchup against these giants that are the members of Evil Geniuses, this has got to be a fantastic morale sort of level to begin this series on.
Everything's looking great. And we got level 4 on the X, level 4 on the Torrent, plenty of range now for DNZ to work with. Now they're approaching these towers with that wide breadth that they can kind of play around with in that AoE. We have Sand King, and so finally it's going to be EG smoking up. Maybe try and find a little bit of a wraparound here. Arteezy's still not back alive. Fear, no ultimate quite yet, so a bit risky. I think they're trying to gonna set this up with the ET ult to try and pick someone off quick and end this push.
Let's see what they can do. I mean, it's actually said they need to do something with Sumail. He's got his IMs and he is going to go for it. Gets the 2-man Dream Coil. There's going to be a very nice little cute play there from Mark as he saves DNZ, slides himself out of there, and that little play is going to keep them both alive. Boogie coming in with a massive Burrow Strike onto 2, sets up for the kill on Misery. Sumail, he's already used the orb. Ark trying to go for the chase down, won't be able to get any damage through, so Sumail can blink himself back to safety. On the side of it though, Boogie, Oliver looking to charge in. Will focus the illusions though, so it looks like the rest of EG will get themselves out of there, but there's some quick reactions really from Penta. I say Ark there with a headset way of saving both himself and the Kunkka, meaning that EG, they just can't get anything done with this puck, which is surprising because of how well farmed Sumail is. You know, he is not behind. He's in a fantastic place for a puck to be, but it just seems that EG can't do anything with this puck.
Yeah, position 5 Dazzle, obviously not very aggressive. And then Elder Titan, that's the second fight in a row now where Ark has made that save on DNZ. And if the fight doesn't go the way you plan as an Elder Titan, you feel a lot weaker. He couldn't find a decent ulti. And
another poor old Misery. He's how many deaths have we got on Misery this game? He's having a bit of a rough one, hasn't he? 6 deaths on the Dazzle. It's constantly being caught out by Penta.
That's 3 times as many kills that they have.
That is true.
That doesn't bode well, I don't reckon.
12 for 2 at 19 minutes in. It's one of these. I feel like we've seen EG have a few of these recently where they may sort of be getting battered around, but RTZ is still farming a treat. And sometimes, you know, RTZ, I'll say sometimes, a lot of the times, RTZ can pull it through with the farm that he gets, and he can carry the game. And this is going to be one of those where if you're EG, you are absolutely looking towards this PL and hoping that RTZ is going to get to this point where he can turn up to the fights, turn up to the skirmishes, and just, you know, feed kill after kill off Penta and get those sort of big kill streaks that are going to sort of buff him up to a fair bit ahead of the Lifestealer in net worth and finding potential. But there's still time will tell on that one. And oh no, look who it is again, Misery. The 7th death for this Dazzle.
Just wanted that bounty rune, dude. You know, he just needs that level 7 someday.
Oh, and EG realizing that this one is unable to win their DDoS Penta, and they're out. GG is cool.
Tactically sound, I would say.
Tactical DDoS.
There's not a lot of good counters for this, actually.
Yeah. Wow. I'm sure they'll be back.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe they're just dropping the mic right now. They're like, yeah, there's no chance. We won this game. It's easy. But Ark, I think probably when he gets BKB, he might greed up a little bit and still get a Blink Dagger next. We'll see. I'm not sure if he feels like he's going to need it just because they do have so much control. They've already got the Blink Dagger on Boogie. But once he's BKB, I feel like their next fights are going to be super strong. And that's going to be the thing that like kind of secures them to tier 2s, maybe secures them to the Roche fight. It's not that scary from EG. I would say both sides have good merits going into the pit.
EG, I think, you know, a lot of the times people tuning in, they'll look at the kill score, they'll be like, oh, 13-2, EG in 2018, lol. But it's not like that, you know, because as you say, they do have the farm on their cores. They're just still yet to find something with it to get the kills, and kills by no means are everything. Of course, there's something in Dota, but Dota's about pushing towers, killing the ancients.
And
they can certainly do that. They've got a Dragon Knight. You know, they win one fight, Fizz going to start coming down the lanes and taking 2 of the towers out easily.
And recently, when Kyle's been casting a lot, he's been talking a lot about how Bulba's been discussing about the game. And obviously, Bulba, coach of EG. Oh, yeah. And so one thing that Bulba talks
so this
about
is a Bulba strat.
This is a Bulba
strat. Feed the Dazzle.
What Bulba says is, all you have to how he kind of views teams right now during the draft is he likes to think about how many team fights does it take for this team to win the game. Like, if the game's going relatively even and you are going to be able to get some sort of a big fight and you just win it, who then comes out on top? Who is this like big momentous edge? And I would say with like the ET and everything, looks pretty damn good for them.
Some hype replays for you guys at home whilst we
look at that save.
And it's just these fights that EG struggling to get their teeth stuck in.
You can imagine that sleep hits, and then the ulti comes down from Crip, and instead he's just he's wandering. He's like, uh-oh, I don't have a good ulti here, I can't force anything, are we bailing out, what's going to happen? No good, no bueno.
No, not at all. I mean, we can see on all these KDAs there, Boogie having a fantastic game on the Sand King 305. And EG is chilling as it were. Just waiting for the game to get back in. Misery. The look of a man who has died 7 times. As, you know,
staring.
One of those games, you know, when that happens, you don't really want to say anything, do you? You know, it's your teammates, you kind of get yourself off the comms, you know, you're like, well, keep quiet.
Fear's just like, am I only going to get a BKB this game? I wonder if I'll get some other items. I missed carrying. People let me farm, that was fun. Now I just have to go drums BKB, don't even get a Shadow Blade.
DP, DK, you know, every game.
He's taking it like a trooper, I would say, for the squad. He's helping out.
What we got going over here in Penta? Oh, they're
having
a party. Yeah. Come on, lads. You got a game to play. I imagine it must just be some sort of network issues. Probably just the connection cut to the room for whatever reason. We should be able to get them back in. It's a good discussion, Taj. Penta definitely more active with the discussion than EG were.
Oh, you would.
Which is understandable. I mean, Penta, this is a team that we've not seen on land.
Are we beating EG?
Many
How
times.
much are we ahead in gold right now? Probably like 5k, 6k. It's under 1k. They don't realize that. They're just like, this game is over, man.
I mean, that is the thing, because obviously it's very easy for us because we see like the net worth difference. Yeah. If you are the teams here in this situation, sure, you see the kills, you don't see the net worth. Do you think Penta know that it's as close, or do you think they may
I would think they're further ahead. I would say so. Maybe not by a whole lot, because obviously they have very good insight of this kind of stuff. But just that whole momentum going.
And I think EG, because I mean these guys, they're veterans.
Is Smith's jersey on backwards?
Is it? Is he wearing his jersey backwards? Or is that just a design of like an older one of the EG jerseys? I don't think you're... Maybe everyone else is wearing theirs backwards.
Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking about. You
You're
must be right. It
though.
must be. It definitely
It's the
looks
only one that's
backwards.
got Samael on the front.
But it still has the same logo on the left sleeve. I don't know. I'm confused. But it looks confusing. I think he's got to figure it out.
I don't know if it's just like a different design. You know,
It's
they changed
definitely a
the
different
jersey.
design.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
But we
He's
can pretend that he's wearing it backwards.
I like the idea that he's just woken up, he's had a rough night, and he's put his shirt on backwards. And he's he's playing the puck very nicely in terms of hitting the creeps. They just can't find the fights with the puck so far this game. But we're only 20 minutes in. It's still early days in this first matchup. First game of this first series, Penta versus EG.
I want to get up there where everyone's hanging out. You know, they're already up at the
Up there?
beautiful venue.
I thought you meant in the EG booth. I was like, that's hardly, party central looking at it. If I was standing there, it'd be as awkward as heck.
No, we haven't got to make our way up into the
Into
the main venue.
We're
up
down,
to the clouds.
down in the city of Kuala Lumpur at the moment. And we'll be heading up there for the weekend, where we should have quite a show. I believe the arena pretty much sold out, as I've heard nearly.
That's
So
exciting.
looking forward to having an incredible crowd for those 3 days of games, where we are going to get some great matchups. We did have some great matchups already yesterday. We had some great, very fun games. We had a couple of rampages on day one. That doesn't always happen at LANs.
ESL also had a fantastic idea. Because often Slacks will find his way onto some sort of a casting
and
desk
we've
or
got
something like this
Slacks.
at this point. Well, see, the best part is they just sent him away already. He's not even here for the group stage. They banished him
This
up
is fantastic.
there.
He's up on a mountain, all on his own.
As far
and we're
away
down
as
here.
possible.
We don't have to talk to him. We don't have to see him. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. Oh, another replay. Oh, it's all fear. The level 3 gank. A tough one. If he has 2 points. And that's probably why he lives. Oh, and then he gets X'd. Oh, gotcha.
And then Misery. What happens? Oh, we're not going to see it. We're going to see this mid one. This one was nice. The way
He had
that Penta
another
turned it
save
around.
on DNZ right here, too. Same thing as the other fight. It's like, uh-oh. Let me get
Because
you,
the
buddy.
ult comes through and it's going to kill him. But I did still hit him, to be fair, didn't it? But it did keep him alive. So they'll keep him up. And of course, Fear does get out of there. Oh no,
I like how we put this.
no, it doesn't.
We've been paying attention to this game. I don't know if you
Is
guys
this the
can
game
tell.
we were casting? I can't remember.
I'm confused. I'm not sure.
It's been a long game.
I haven't felt the boat very much in this game, I will say. There's one thing that they haven't... It feels like
No,
maybe
it's
they
not-
could have
not
pushed
the
this
challenge,
advantage a bit
sure.
more, too, you know? Like, they haven't got any sort of, like, massive combos for themselves quite yet, either.
What's going on here?
I like his hat. It says, Fashion,
Fashion
killed my childhood. That is the most confusing hat.
Killed my...
That's like something you would pick up on the
That's
side of
pretty-
the
is that-
street in a country that doesn't speak
What
English
does it
or something. It means fashion killed his childhood. You know, maybe he was forced to be a model from his parents.
Okay.
I mean, look at that face. Look at that. Oh,
What's
beautiful
his face?
bone structure. Do you think he was a hand model?
Fashion killed my childhood.
That's deep. Maybe it's like his thesis or something.
I like the little man bun the lad's got at the back. It's nice.
Oh, that is good.
And he's got the gamer face on, sometimes we just sort of derp out.
Yeah,
He's full focus at the moment.
I like this. They're zoning back in.
Yeah, looks like everyone's sitting back down. This is a good sign. He's putting on those headphones.
That's our boy DNZ, if I'm not mistaken.
He's ready to rock and roll.
That's the Kunkka. He needs that beard like Tsunami, though, if he wants to really play Kunkka.
He's
'cause
working on it. I reckon that he could definitely grow out a nice beard.
We should tell him that.
We should.
Once we get up there.
Well, I mean, we get Slacks to tell him in an interview.
okay.
Like,
Sounds
he's
good.
Great beard. We're
Oh,
back
my
in.
goodness.
Look at that. Look at that. Tier 1 down. Penta able to take it. And well, we just saw, of course, Misery was taken down once again. With the itemization on Oliver, he's going to pick up the Solar Crest as the follow-up to the Radiance. So Phase, Radiance, and Solar Crest. That's a very scary lifesteal at 20 minutes in.
Yeah, it's usually the standard build when you go for that Radiance anyway, but extra nice this game.
Yeah.
You're up against the DK, so finding a way to chew through that guy, that's certainly been a problem. And then the added Dazzle, maybe also just popping up yourself and you get caught in a bad weave. So a lot of good options happening this time.
I like that as well. He drops the boat, TP's out, and our crit does actually. No, he does follow from the TP, so it causes EG to have 4 heroes sort of move down towards this bottom lane to protect Fear, but Penta, of course, already out there and elsewhere on the map.
Now we have to kind of try and figure out where we were in this game here. So if you're EG, you're coming out of this pause,
Yep.
and everyone's like, okay, like the first thing you say is like, what's my next item, or like, what are we getting? What's our next maneuver? The lanes are in a pretty even state right now, not a big deal. So I would think that both teams probably started considering Roche quite a bit in the pause. When you have a breather like that, you kind of think like more about objectives from when you're coming back. Like, what do we want to do? What move do we want to make? So it's possible we might see some rotations around there to try and get some vision around the pit, or just generally consider, like, because they know Penta has that Solar Crest, so Roche is very speedy for them. And we've actually built a almost 2K lead, keeps hovering around there. So Penta are starting to increase that gap just a little bit as RTZ keeps pulling it back down with those Ancients.
RTZ nearly having the Manta style complete, so...
Oh, they're set up so well, but they can't find the aggressive maneuver, even with the puck there. Very slow game from EG.
Okay, so 5th fastest pickup of those 2 out of the 14 times, this, and 7 onwards from the
7
Radiant
times by Oliver.
As you said, a huge fan of that Radiance build. And
you know, Cap had a game with him recently where he went Radiance and Shivas, and Cap was not very pleased. But he claimed Oliver just refused to believe they weren't the 2 best items for his Raid King, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll get that later, too.
I hope he does that in a pro game. Ooh, that Graven team. Oh, Samael, he's out. Very nice play from Misery there. We'll keep the man alive and allow EG to take the tier 2 tower. Fear now pop the BKB. We'll be able to dodge out the boat with that one. See if Penta can get themselves stuck back in there. Eyeing up Fear. You can see that they really want to try and get involved in this fight as the BKB wears off. They go straight in onto Fear with the Burrow Strike. Can EG react to this in time? They have the Graves. Samael jumps back in with the silence. Ult flies through from Crypt, bringing Arc down low. But now they'll turn back towards Fear. Take him down. RTZ's trying to make over the Sanity's Eclipse is there. Clears out the illusions. Artor still with the Doppelganger. Turns towards DNZ. Takes down the Kunkka, but the Burrow Strike's there from Boogie. And RTZ's down as well. Misery looking to grave himself. EG will find Arc, but they're losing Crypt. Double kill for Oliver. Misery trying with the TP out. Have they got to wait to cancel it? They haven't. Misery will escape. But overall 3 for 2. I'll make that a 3 for 3. Samael evening the scoreboard there for this team fight as he comes back in to make sure that the trade ends even.
He didn't even have vision there. He just kind of saw what was going on with the Dazzle and was able to come in and clean him up anyway. So that looks like, yeah, it just winds up being pretty damn even.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to take away though is the fact that RTZ dies, Oliver lives, and Oliver did get a double kill. So still the fact that this difference between the Lifestealer and the PL is getting that little bit bigger. But overall, as you say, very, very much close. And Samael still getting on the goal from those little kills that he can pick off at the back of that. And that's going to help him propel himself towards
oh, nice. I like this play from Arc when, first off, Crit in the trees down there. Fantastic positioning. And then the way Arc uses that ulti just to try and clear out those illusions, too, to stop RTZ from coming in and, like, cleaning up the entire fight. I think he knew he was kind of dead anyway. He's being, like, chased down. But that could have been even worse. Like, it's possible RTZ just starts, like, killing through everyone. Sadly, they didn't have all the stuns up and available right when he cleared out all those illusions, so Boogie couldn't instantly target him, but they're able to get him down after that. And they just kind of miss out on Misery TPing out. And then Samael just bats clean up after that with a kill in the SK.
See what the plan is here from Penta. Looks like Roche, yes, indeed. Into the pit they go, but Crit is there with the Spirit. And will force them to think twice about taking Roshan. I guess they do have the Solar Crest on Lifestealer, but Lifestealer, other than that, not really the greatest of cause to take down Roche quickly. So Penta will stay away from it for now, and will almost certainly only really think about going back in if they can get some kills, and that certainly looks to be what they're looking for now. Smoke up.
I think the Dire Vision might have seen that. It looked like that ward was firing up.
I think EG will be aware of this one for sure. We'll see how they react to it. They could look to try and turn it around and take the fight themselves if they can get into good position. They're keeping themselves around this high ground area towards the shrine. Yeah, and making sure that Penta doesn't get a chance to jump on top of them. Seeing the circle being drawn, I believe, RMN did circle that area that he knows that they are going to be hiding up there. Can they get a good jump though? It's hard, it's tricky. If Buki wants to go in blind, he certainly could try, but it would be pretty ambitious, and it looks like they may just be content with the fact that they're not going to be able to get a pick off the back of this smoke with EG knowing what was going on.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on tower. We'll see if they get anything a little bit more. Bottom lane though, Arteezy still doing his thing, being very irritating through all of that pushing. So he's trading very favorably for the side of EG, I would say, considering how much they're committing mid from Penta, and now some damage on this tier 3 from the catapult.
I mean, and the thing is as well, we've talked about, obviously, with Penta, how good their sort of synergy is between the heroes, but in terms of, like, say, one hero being sent down to deal with the PL, they don't really have an amazing hero to do that. It feels like they do need to react sort of in mass numbers, so Arteezy, he is going to be able to get away with these sort of plays a lot of the time when he sees at least 2 or 3 heroes elsewhere on the map, because he knows that there's very little threat to him between just, say, 2 of the heroes in Penta.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about it either, but for Oliver as well, he has that Rage TP, so he kind of has the same option where he can be very aggressive and play across the whole map. Nothing to do about that either. Still at tier 1 mid standing. I mean, the Dragon Knight was in mid lane, so I guess maybe that helps in that manner, but perhaps still a little bit surprising EG haven't been able to force their way down there. Just a lot of attention put there from Penta. OD just kind of doing laps around that mid tower, constantly playing around neutrals, coming back to the wave. Ark hasn't really strayed too far from the mid lane this entire game.
He's also got that BKB complete on the OD.
Alright, this is the time then. Time to go. The circle has been drawn up top by RMN. He's saying time to take over this whole area. I want wards around there. I want Roche. I want to try and kill somebody and then go right into it. This is our strongest right now with this BKB. You want to just slay either that Dazzle or the ET right at the start of the fight, and then just play the game from there.
DNZ, playing confident at the front. We'll be able to get the catch onto Misery here. He's got the setup with the X-Spark into the Torrent. Looks like the Torrent's going to whiff, but the boat will connect. They're moving on to Misery. Grave is going to wear out, and that is going to be a dead Dazzle as they set up for the kill with the Astral. Misery down once again.
We talked about that counter a few times too, though. If like anyone just gets graved by EG and the Astral just comes out and they just die, it does not feel too good. So not always the biggest save available.
With that one kill as well, Penta, they're feeling confident. They head into the pit. It's going to be the stomp. They know that EG know. It is just a Dazzle that's out of the fight. Penta may feel that that's enough. You've got Boogie moving in onto mid. They have their eyes towards Fear, keeping the DK at bay and making sure the space is there for them to continue at Roshan. They will back away from it. Fear goes for the BKB TP out. Looks like Penta, they're actually reacting to RTC's push down bottom. They'll TP away. They pull themselves away from Roshan with Misery coming back alive. So again, they just seem a little unsure about when they really truly have the time to do it.
Now what do you do as EG though? Yeah, like you still have the ultis from pretty much everyone except for the Dragon Knight ulti, but you know he also TP back to base, so he's gonna be a little while getting there. And they don't really have that speed though.
No.
You know, PL is certainly a better rushing hero than he used to be.
Yep.
But overall, they're not going to be the fastest squad ever.
Lincoln's on Sumail, so he's
Boots
going to be
travel
feeling very invulnerable.
They're starting to feel that pressure from Arteezy and how well it's been going for them, that they're putting some more mobility on Sumail so we can start doing the same thing.
Oh. I like this as well, of course, that cute little play where you can X the OD, goes in, gets a bit of a stolen in, gets himself brought back. Still in a bit of trouble though, as RTZ does jump in and look to chase him down. Boogie's going to be there with the response, and oh no, Misery, not again. Poor old Dazzle. Every time, caught out on the front lines and just gets shredded in a matter of seconds by the lineup of Penta.
Very tense situation here.
Looks like Penta, though, this time, I think, may have realised, Roshan, it's a bit of a tricky one to go for. Now they're looking towards the tier 2. In the amount of time that they were in there before, they only brought it down to about half health. Ark's going to head back towards there.
They're trying to find crit from the Spirit. They see where it's going. Like, where the hell is this guy? He's like way far away. That thing was just in the pit.
So Penta will find the space to at least take the tier 2, as it seems. They don't think EG will be able to do anything about this tower going down. Another tower is taken for Penta. Still though, 30 minutes in, the net worth lead is absolutely tiny for EG. It's absolutely even.
Yeah, look at that graph. It's only ever maxed out at like 2.5.
It's a very close game in terms of the numbers, but the fact that...
Except for those kill numbers.
It's the kill numbers.
Those ones.
The sort of, yes, you say, how we feel that the morale may be in Penta's booth compared to EG's when they sort of feel the scores. I mean, it does feel that Penta are further ahead than they are. Carry out.
Looks like they spotted that from EG, so they understand where some of these heroes are.
Managed to catch Arteezy out with the Torrent, but Mail's there to back him up. Boogie comes in with the burst strike. They've got the control onto Arteezy. Arteezy's going to get out. He's got the doppelganger. He's going to head up to the north. Iron Man clears out the illusion with the AoE, and the Sanity's clears from Ark. Does the job. Takes down PL. Now to look for more Penta, turning towards Misery. He's got the self-grave, but they are going to have the Astral again. That's going to be Misery going down for sure. Can they get anything more? That's the question. Sumail already out with the illusory orb, but up to the high ground.
Dude, DNZ is dancing. He's juking Sumail all over the place, glimmering to survive at double-digit HP, and makes out with the Spirit Vessel too.
This is not over at all. Nice. They're looking for more kills this team fight, and that's a third one.
This is where you want the pit. You knew the crit was going to come in and try and delay that
Roche. This is time to
go. 20% evasion now added on to the life source. Oh, they call it off? It's
too
risky.
I mean, I guess they've tried it a few times and they know they can't do it that quick. So, yeah. I mean, as we've seen evidently as well, with the amount of kills and the number of deaths that they have, they don't really need an Aegis. It's not like their cause of dying in these fights.
No, that is true.
So there's not really huge pressure to go for. They can certainly try and play around and just keep continuing to feed off EG.
Oh, they want to.
Oh, Misery. Be careful. Come on, my My heart can't take it. I feel bad for the lad. How many times has Mystery died now? I hate to bring it up, but it's down.
You know.
He's hit the double digits.
He's just under half.
Double digit
kills.
dazzle. I'm sure that'll be the last time he dies this game, I believe.
That's a bold claim. That would be very. It looks like Fear will now escape. He's down there just kind of pressuring out a little bit, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. They keep winning these fights for Penta, and they just keep farming back up. So, like, what's happening with this disparity? And I'm surprised, like, the support's obviously very poor on the side of EG. Crit's doing fairly well considering the situation, but the cores, it's just that big gap that you're seeing right there between the DK as well as the Sand King. 4K hurting their situation, but combined supports for the Radiant are 12.4, whereas for the Dire, you're only looking at about 6K.
Let's see what the next point of kind of action is for EG. RTZ still only 1k behind Oliver's Lifestealer.
Is that an Orchid on Fear that he was building? It's a nice little choice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely a good answer to the Lifestealer, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously great against
He gets,
Oliver's, but the fact that this is a lad, he don't want to build a BKB, he's got a rage, so if you can stop him from being able to rage in the team fights.
Yeah, and he's got the Evasion talent, he's got the Solar Crest,
Yeah.
and he has the Radiance, so
Yeah.
lots of True Strike being
Yeah,
added
I like
on there.
Yeah, we'll see if he does follow up with that build. As you say, he's got it queued up, but at the moment
You
he's
never
not
know.
invested in anything. Yeah, he could change his mind, but he can certainly see the argument for having that control this game. Looking around the pit once again. EG, though, they're in a good position. This could catch Penta off guard here. As EG actually over Penta's half of the map. Fear leads in onto the Kunkka. They'll look for the quick and easy kill, but Arg comes in on the sideline with the BKB, starts pummeling into the crit Elder Titan. That's going to be one down. DNZ surely is going to fall. Fear's trying his best. DNZ finally drops, but they've lost crit. Fear turns towards Arg. The BKB's now worn out of Fear. Oliver backing up with the Dream Course there from Samael. Catches out 3. RMN forcing Fear to back off. Now they're pummeling to Samael. Samael held in place by the Astral Imprisonment. That's 2 down on EG. Samael, can he get himself out of there? He's trying to find the kill onto Arc. He's jumping forward, blinks up to the high ground, but the burrow strikes there. Oliver was picked up by Boogie, dragged him into position. There's still a phase shift from Samael. Samael, he's not. Is he going to be able to get out? He's got the backup of Misery, but the Yules is out from Boogie, holding him in place. He's still got the phase shift. Fear comes back in. Dragon Tail stuff, but the burrow strikes there. Fear's going to be in trouble as well for sure. Oliver and Boogie surround him. Epicenter's being revved up. Boogie jumps back in to make sure the damage is done to take Fear out of there. Samael just has to TP out from the sidelines. And another fight. I mean, they went in, they did get the Kunkka, but it cost them so much, losing 4 heroes. And this time, this surely will be a big enough window for Penta to take Roshan, grab themselves an Aegis. What a fight there, and
Yeah.
some brilliant plays from Penta.
Unbelievable. I mean, this is where that gap in the support net worth is really hurting them. Those Glimmer Capes are fantastic. Like, Kunkka doesn't even have one. You'd think he had a Glimmer Cape, considering how many times he's been saved by RMN in these engagements. And he'll have one of his own soon as he's seeing how well it's working out for him. And yeah, all that focus on the Kunkka, as he said, still got all of his spells, and they killed RTZ so quickly. Arc has been so good with dropping the hammer. Every time, he's just willing to throw it out.
It's ready to go.
Yeah, he's not waiting for this big cleanup or anything like that, and then he's targeting down RTZ just with the Astral at the end. So finally, all of that posturing rewards Penta with the Roshan, and maybe they can actually get a little bit more aggressive in this game. Try and find themselves into a tier 3 and work towards those shrines.
Oh, that bit of handy information to help EG get back in the game here. DNZ dropping them the all chat roast times.
You gotta send a thank you after that. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
you gotta give him the old TY.
Yeah.
Oh, there we have it.
There you go.
25.
You really
to
need
6.
Pimp. He can just do everything for you.
Yeah, EG should hire him as a coach.
I think they already did. That's how that DDoS thing happened.
That's true, yeah.
He's in the networks.
Pimp's got the technical powers to help them out.
Well, Scythe completed after that Roshan as well.
Yeah.
But the Aghanim
Okay.
on the puck. This is a good game for it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
Control off that Lifestealer, get that OD. Do they have any good ways to force the spread, though? Not really. They don't have like a good way to snap the coil, necessarily.
No. I mean, it's... Again, the problem is you're sort of relying on RTZ and Fear to get the damage done after you control them. But a lot of the times, as you mentioned, RTZ is just being focused perfectly by Penta, and he's not having these fights where he's able to just run around hero to hero. And
He's got the item now, though.
okay.
He has found his solution. Doesn't often feel very good. They have to buy it on PL, but this is certainly the game.
Yeah. We'll see how much this changes things. They have to make sure that RTZ can survive in these fights and actually get some damage done.
Oliver starting to play so aggressive, feeling very good in this game. Knows he can just always go with the TP.
Is around, but they don't have detection on the 2 cores.
A little Radiant Sentry there, maybe hoping Fear would come nearby. And a Force Staff now picked up too. So that'll be for old Boogie. High mobility on the side of Penta.
And they're going to look to try and go for high ground. Outside of the
Where
base.
are you, Misery?
He's going to be keeping himself well back.
Oh, he's got the gem too. Even bigger target.
Oh, yeah.
They got a ward up on the high ground too, but it looks like it was just pinged out, I believe. It's hard to tell.
Here we go, though. There's the commit from Mark already, jumping in the side for Vice, bringing Crit down low, drops the Sanity's Clips. That's going to be Crit going down on the sidelines as well. The Burrow Strike blinking from Boogie, catching out Misery.
Oh,
that's both supports down. It's a nice 5-man dream coil, but for what? There's no follow-up at all. Penta, more than happy to stick around in the base, turns towards Fear. BKB's out from the DK. Put their attention back towards the tier 3 tower. Fear's got to be careful as the BKB will wear out, keeping his distance. You've got to watch out for this SK there. You know Boogie's going to be more than happy to dive in.
I believe Arteezy is top though.
He is trying to go for the rat play. He's doing his best. He's hitting onto that tier 3, but they have lost the mid racks. Now the TP's come back through. Arteezy looking. Oh no, he's not going to be able to get out. Oh! They've got him. The Burrow Strike comes in. Arteezy unable to TP back with the way that Boogie catches him out. Boogie and Oliver surround him. And Arteezy will almost certainly be going down as he pops. Boogie able to get the kill. Arteezy down for 80 seconds. And I don't know, a bit of an interesting play there. I don't know if his TP was on cooldown earlier because he just had a BKB. Surely if you get the BKB, that's sort of the BKB and let's help the team in the fight, not the BKB, let's go and shove a lane down and die.
Yeah, it might have been that the initiation was extremely quick. Like, Crit died so fast in that fight. And yeah, he did have the BKB, as Pimp was saying, so there was an opportunity. Oh, Pimp, I guess, well, Pimp's on the replays. We'll just say Pimp does everything.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Already back in. More pain and misery for EG. Sumail will be graved. Misery, of course, is dead. Sumail jumps back in. He's looking to try and find the revenge kill, but the Glimmer Caves there. Iron Man's kept alive. Sumail, he's so low on life. Have they got the timing? They have. Double kill for Oliver. They have lost 2 this time round on Penta. Fear goes for the BKB TP out. There's 3 dead again on EG. And with Ark and Oliver alive, they're not done. They slide up into the base. They hex up Crit. Crit's down on the Elder Titan. Buyback's coming out from Sumail. But 31-8. 11k lead now for Penta. They are absolutely stepping things up. And as of this game, they are definitely outclassing EG. They are going to be able to get that second melee racks from this bottom lane. Very little that EG can do to stop that. The game won't be over. EG do still, of course, have a chance in this, but it's looking slimmer and slimmer. We're looking at the cores of Penta. I believe the OD's only died once. The Lifestealer hasn't died at all this game. Orchid. Maybe they can turn it around here, though. Arteezy jumping in, looking towards DNZ. He's got the run buff on him, though. And Arteezy will continue to chase down, and they should find the Kunker at least. OD was able to get out at the side, so DNZ will fall, but still more and more objectives that they're able to get.
As well.
Okay. That's. I mean, it's. I don't know. I mean, how did EG pull this one back? It's just looking to be a bit of a shambles.
When you look at this game too, they invested so much in Arteezy. We saw all that pressure down the bottom lane. They have an entire hero, the Dazzle, that literally just followed him for the first like 15 minutes. Whereas on the side of Penta, you've had this Leshrac and this Kanka who are being very aggressive across the map, helping to secure objectives rather than just securing a single hero's farm. So they were building much more towards an individual rather than a full team effort. And EG got punished hard because the OD has been done like a fantastic job of punishing Arteezy. He's 1-6-4. Like, you have put so much effort in this PL, and he's only been involved in 5 of these kills. You know, he hasn't gotten that big rampage that you would expect from someone who's been so farmed this game. So there is still a chance from EG. You know, they're only down like 1.5 racks. It's not the end of the world. They can certainly just win a fight and run this one over, but much easier said than done.
Look at this play though. EG, they are hiding behind Arteezy on the high ground. They're looking for the jump and they look for Oliver. Oliver already got the rage out. There's nothing they can do. The instant rage from Oliver, meaning there's nothing Sumail can do to control that Lifestealer straight up. Now, EG's surprise play is not going to achieve what they hoped for at the start of it all. Fear popping the BKB as he tries to commit onto Oliver, but Oliver's forced back away. He's more than fine, and Penta, they're going to move forward. They know the BKB's down on Fear. They want to try and get these kills. Arteezy coming in the backlines onto Araman. Crit with the ult. Only going to clip onto Oliver, but not doing much damage at all. BKB popped by Arteezy on the sideline. The epicenter from Boogie, bringing Crit and Fear relatively low. Ark's BKB pop as he turns towards Arteezy. Arteezy blown up by the Sanity's Eclipse. That's the PL down. Oliver coming in up to the high ground. He takes down Crit on the other time, turns towards Fear. Fear's got the Shadow Blade. He's going to look to try and give him the Radiance rundown. As he going to be able to find him? It doesn't look like he will, but it doesn't matter. They've already taken down 3. They only lose Boogie, and Sumail actually getting caught out by the Torrent. So he's going to be unable to TP to base for 40 seconds. Sure, he's a puck. He's fairly mobile. He can make his way over there.
Though. They're going in.
He's on the wrong side of the team now. He can't get back to base without going past or at least around Penta. The buyback's out from Arteezy. But Penta, they're pressuring the base. 20 seconds still without either of the supports on Evil Geniuses. As Penta look to take the third melee racks. Arteezy thinking about coming forward. Has to be incredibly careful though.
They still have that save.
They're jumping on the back, Sumail with the silence. Fear actually going in as well. They're trying to commit fully on Theody. Can they kill him in time? The force there, the Glimmer Cape as well. Ark's going to be kept alive. Here is he going to fall down. One more touch. What do? They bring down Ark. Big kill for EG, but what does it matter? They've lost Arteezy. It's a dieback on the PL. Penta move back up into the base. And I mean, this just looks to be absolutely over for Evil Geniuses. This game, unless they can pull off a miracle, they do get the kill onto RMN, but the top racks are down. The mega creeps are out for Penta. DNZ will happily give his life. He does not care at this stage with the lead that Penta has secured in this game. Nullifier's out for Oliver. And can EG deal with the megas? They have, I guess the Breathe Fire, the Elder Dragon form is okay. They do have a Battlefield on the PL, but it's not brilliant. This is going to be one of those games that if EG can end up winning, it's going to be absolutely insane. But the chances just look so small because Penta are just so far ahead. 35-13. They have played absolutely fantastic in this opening game of the series, Penta.
Yeah, it doesn't look like... well, Roche is actually coming relatively soon here. It's not going to be all too long before he pops right back up. So at least there is that for EG. Look at the Aegis and the Cheese, but they'll actually be back live on the Radiant. Plus, I mean, even just taking that as EG is obviously going to be very dangerous and risky, so highly unlikely they'll even get a chance at it. They're just trying to deal with Mega Creeps at the moment. Crit takes the last Shrine. I'm sure he's aware that that's going to be cleaned up relatively quickly. Boogie just hoping to grab a free one before Odie's even back online.
I mean, it's really been what you said at the start. You know, the lifesteal Oliver. If he has a good start, he's going to go ham, and he absolutely has this game. This has been
very good.
A very, very good lifesteal performance. And this is a hero to me that, you know, it's not sort of the flavor of the month for every team.
Yep.
Sometimes when it's picked up, it has very, very underwhelming performances. But his build, I can see why other people are doing it. This Radiant Solar Crest, if you get it at good timing, he's pretty much unkillable with the talents, as you say as well. It just works out.
Being right behind enemy lines.
And he's going to go to try and go in straight away on the OT, but the Glimmer Cape's there. Sumail will jump forward. They do manage to get a big ult from Crip, bringing DNZ down low. BKB's pop from Mark as he turns towards Fear, takes down one, has the Hex onto Sumail. Sumail's down as well. GG is cool. This game is absolutely over for EG as Penta starting off the day with an incredible performance. They've got to be feeling good about that one. Yep. There was no question about that. It was close in terms of a farm sense of the early stages, but from the mid-game onwards, I mean, Penta just outplayed EG in every single engagement.
Yeah, they really did. And I guess it kind of goes to show, like, if you expect how Penta's going to win this game, I would say it's based on the fact they've been playing together for so long. It's all about that teamwork, working together as a unit in those big fights. So when I'm looking towards how Penta want to play, you look at PL and you look at Lifestealer. And Lifestealer is a hero that can be so well enabled by your teammates. We were waiting for Arteezy to do this thing where he just like shows up in the fight and shreds everyone. Because that's what PL does, right? Happened. He's very mobile. He does a ton of damage. He just kills people. But Lifestealer needs help. You know, he needs a lot of these stuns. He needs someone to be like, okay, hold this guy down. I gotta go away on this guy. I'm like, oh, give me the other stun. They had stuns all over the place. We got Sand King. We got Kunkka. So
fantastic amounts of AoE to control.
And like, who did we invest in this game? We had a Dragon Knight that couldn't really offer all too much. I mean, he was like a frontliner, so he was like trying to create the space for Sumail to jump in. Sumail had no one to help him get kills early on when he got well farmed, and it just didn't work out too well.
Wow, what a way to start the day! And EG now a game away from being knocked out of the minor. It's going to get crazy. I'm sure you guys are going to stick around for game 2. But don't go anywhere yet, as we will be passing you straight back to Paul on the panel to hear about that Penta Esports, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed. Penta Sports win in the opening game against Evil Geniuses. Had a few EG fans this morning message me and say, easy 2-0 first game. Not so, it seems. Well played, Penta Sports, because that was a great performance from them, pretty much from the get-go as well. But I want to start by talking about the end. Because for me, the most significant part of that entire game was the fact that they got up at the end of the match as if that was just Yeah, not job done. It was very calm. It wasn't a high-fiving, jumping all over people, reacting, because they realised
quick. They were just like, good job. All right.
Yeah, it was a little like, but it was serious business. I like that, because that means that they're not thinking, oh, we've got a chance. They're not getting carried away. They're staying professional, and they understand they're one game away, and they still need to win that next game.
It's a marked difference in body language from what we saw during the draft, where at times of the draft, they looked a little bit nervous.
Swam backwards and forwards, get a bit like,
after the game, it's like, we got this, bro.
Yeah, I think that they should feel like that, especially afterwards. They're like, man, we made all the right moves. That's really what it came down to.
Okay, let's go back to we're going to see the replays as we go through this now.
Yes.
But let's start with the draft as well.
Okay.
Do we head into this game feeling like EG have had a better draft?
Yes.
Because that's what we... I think that was the consensus, wasn't it?
And I will have to go watch this replay tonight, and I will probably twice. I still think EG had the better draft. I thought Penta put themselves in a position where they had to win 3 fights to win the game. They had to something like Fogg and I were talking about. They had to do something like win 1 fight, take Roche, win a 2nd fight, and then win the buyback fight to end the game. Penta were like, yeah, okay. And they did it. I mean, they just executed in these fights so well.
I think that it wasn't just even the execution of the fights; it was the map movement for me in this game. Every single time the smoke rotations, I think only 1 smoke didn't work out, and they didn't really lose anything out of it. Shows a little bit of time on the infest, but every single one of these smoke rotations, I felt like Boogie, Sanking was landing 2 to 3 man stuns. They'd wipe out a hero right away at the start of the fight, and then they're playing like a 4v5. I felt like their positioning in the fights also was far superior to EG's. I felt like Misery was a couple times, actually a lot of times, caught out of position here.
I felt like the execution by Arc in these fights was really good. I think you and Cap were mentioning that during the game as well. I thought EG, so if you go back, if you look at sacking a player, which has become something that we talk a lot about in these panels, right? It's something that OG did with Ana. It's something that Liquid does a lot with, same with Tumbleman, right? But these good teams, when they're sacking and when they're playing well and they're sacking a player, they always have a plan to get that hero back in the game. In this game, Fierce Dragon Knight got sacked in that top lane, and at no point did it look like EG had a plan to bring him back into the game.
They didn't really have any plans of taking any fights after the lanes. We were like, oh, the lanes were maybe very slightly EG favored, but Penta, they got all the farm on the lifesteal, and that's what they wanted. All they cared was, we're getting this Radiance up as fast as possible, and then we do the smoke ganks.
Yeah,
so they prioritized differently, and they used their prioritization. They were like, all right, we got the Radiance, and then we're just going to make the moves afterwards. We don't care, sure. OD, he lost a little bit to the puck, whatever. Lifesteal is the key to this game, having this advantage over the PL.
3 of the 10 fastest Radiance timings on Lifestealer now belong to Oliver.
He had 2 of them already before we were talking about at the start of the game.
It wasn't just the Radiance. He then stacked evasion. He went Solar Crest right after the Radiance to stack evasion against that PL, and it made him feel a lot more robust in those fights than I was expecting.
I just love the execution, man.
It was very clean, wasn't it?
Tanky Lifestealer with the Kunkka boat on top. It just felt like they couldn't die in these fights at all.
But it's also falling back into this trap of like, okay, we're not playing particularly well. Artur, please carry us.
Yeah,
on this battlefield PL.
But there was nothing of those cores. I mean, none of the cores on EG were able to do anything in that game.
It felt like Sumail was the only one who could really find stuff.
I mean, he was hanging on by a thread in most of those fights, though. He was picked off early, damaged early, couldn't really dive back in. Didn't seem like it was going to come from any of the 3 cores.
And look, it's a tough thing to talk about in these panels because it sounds contradictory that we praise good teams for having the ability to change up their lanes and for having the ability to have these interchangeable cores. But at the same time, you do have to have a team identity. You have to have a concept of how we win games, and it doesn't feel like EG has that concept right now.
Yeah, it does feel like they're struggling a little bit. On a positive note, though, that's a great performance from Penta. They'll be buoyed by that, and they'll realise actually it wasn't the best of drafts for them. They were a little bit shaky, and Alan mentioned the fact that they were swaying backwards and forwards, and they looked a bit nervous in the player area as well. So they take all of that into account, and then say, well, actually, we can still come out of that, head to game 2 with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should have tons of confidence after that. Like I said, I felt like they really didn't make too many wrong moves. Their wards, vision, etc. Like they really were on top of this game. They looked super prepared for EG. Well, on the latter, EG, or on the opposite, EG did not look prepared.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to what I said very first thing in the series, and that is that this Penta team is good enough that if EG didn't play better than they played against Navi yesterday, they're gonna win.
Yep.
And I'll stick to that.
Okay. It's good a note as any to finish on. Yes, Alan called it early on, and he was absolutely right in game 1. It's Penta Sports that have taken the opening game against Evil Geniuses. And just to give you a little bit more reason to come back after the break and watch the draft, Evil Geniuses are one game away from going out of ESL One Genting. We'll see you in a few.